the pain was so bad I couldn't knit. And actually, Dr. Pervaiz operated on that shoulder 20 years ago, but it has gotten worse because I'm a retired nurse, and we all know nurses tend to overwork our bodies. And it had just gotten to the point that it was bone on bone and very difficult to maneuver just to do daily stuff. I got to the point where it was difficult to just do anything. And so it brought me back to Dr. Pervaiz to work on my shoulder. And he said, at this point, it's time to replace the shoulder. And of course, he wanted to do a reverse shoulder replacement, which is the newest procedure. My surgery was at 3:30 in the afternoon, but I was home by 8 o'clock that night. And from having my knees done, where I was in the hospital for 4 days, and so coming home that night was, a nice benefit, I guess I would say, because I was back in my own surroundings. I started the physical therapy the next day with the slight swinging motions they give you while you're for the first 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, I went to the physical therapy department out in Howard County in Ellicott City. And I worked with them for about 4 weeks because the surgery was in October and we left for Florida at the end of November. So I think I was knitting before we left. The reason that I chose Orthopedic Associates originally was because, as I said, I'm a retired nurse, and nurses tend to ask each other who to go to. And I was referred by the nurses at St. Agnes that this is the best group that there is. The whole philosophy of Orthopedic Associates is one of caring and listening to you and hearing what you have to say and where your pain is and how we're going to solve it. In fact, the next thing I have to do is I have really severe arthritis in my hand, and it makes my knitting very difficult. So when I see Dr. Pervaiz in a couple weeks, I will be asking about that. As a nurse and a member of the profession, I would recommend them to anybody without a doubt. In fact, my next door neighbor just went to Dr. Pervaiz too. He operated on her, and I've known 3 people that since my surgery that he's operated on, and they're all doing wonderfully.